Hello everybody, I am Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming, and World of Warcraft just pulled the trigger on Mr. Pandaria Remix. Frogs be gone! Okay, let's get you all up to speed, yeah? Mr. Pandaria Remix. Level up a bunch of new tunes, do dungeons, raid scenarios, quests, whatnot, get a bunch of new gear and gems that you can upgrade, by the way, the gear specifically with bronze, the new resource, or buy a bunch of cosmetics with bronze as well. However, when the game first came out, there was a big glitch, or bug, or exploit, whatever you want to call it, where if you just farmed this one spot of frogs, you would gain so much bronze it'd be insane. And your cloak, which you continually upgrade by looting things to gain a whole bunch of stats, would be blown out of proportion, and you'd be so far and away from everyone else that it kind of created two tiers of citizens in Mr. Pandaria Remix. Those who had grinded frogs and those who have not. And this became a big topic of debate within the community. And it seems that, well, Blizzard decided to do something about it. So they made a blue post and a tweet about it. And normally nothing ever good follows that sentence, but I think here it is. They said, to quote, "Players who gained a large advantage farming gulp frogs will have their power diminished. And players who did not will be eligible to receive 40,000 bronze for leveling to 70. It's a bit of a double-edged sword in a lot of ways, and let's talk about it right here. I think overall, the way that Blizzard has responded to player feedback in regards to Mr. Pandaria Remix has been a good thing. They've addressed scaling, they've now addressed the frog stuff, and a bunch of other stuff. I can't speak to how well they've addressed it, but they have addressed it. But there's still some big lingering issues here. The fact you have to upgrade gear whatsoever, to me, is kind of baffling in an event that is designed to be able to speed run a bunch of alts to level 70 in preparation for the next expansion, but also to unlock a bunch of cosmetics, whether that be mounts, transmog, or minions, pets, whatever, or even toys, because all that stuff costs bronze. So kind of locking people out from being able to grind for that cosmetic reward because they have to level up their gear to stay relevant at the end game here is kind of baffling in an event limited to only 3 months. And it gives at least the game and the experience the feeling that it's being time-gated to try and fill out that entire 3-month window instead of people just being allowed to take out of Mr. Pandaria Remix what they want out of it. If someone only wants to play it for a week just to level up a couple of tunes, go ahead. That should be fine, and that should be incentivized. Or maybe not incentivized, it just shouldn't be discouraged. Much in the same way that it isn't, but also, if you want to go do a bunch of high-end raids because you want to grind out that bronze for a transmog set or a really cool mount, having to go level up this gear just feels arbitrary and as if it doesn't belong in this event, right? There's nothing stopping you from just leveling up a bunch of tunes, but if you really want those cosmetics, this gear thing just doesn't belong, especially in a mode that is designed to kind of take out of it what you will. If you want to level by doing questing, go ahead. Doing scenarios, go ahead. Dungeons, raids, you can do all of that while leveling. You can do the zones, you can do the end game stories that were originally max level content in the patches. You can do all of that. So why limit the really high-end stuff behind this wall of upgrading gear that's not gonna matter in 3 months' time? I don't see how this makes the experience better. Because either you don't interact with the system because you just want to level up a bunch of alts, or grind bronze some other way to acquire these cosmetics, and sure, then this system does not affect you. Or you want to hang out with a bunch of buddies and go do some raiding or whatever. Or you just want to pug these raids. Then the system does affect you, and negatively so, because you have to dump a bunch of bronze in gear you're not going to care about. All you gain are more stats. It's not like the gems get better or anything. To me, it's just a system that doesn't have a place in what Mr. Pandaria Remix is supposed to be. Miss was always a really fun time, and it still is with Remix. I think Remix is a net positive for World of Warcraft. It just has these glaring design flaws that don't need to be there, because they don't contribute anything. They feel as if they're trying to address a problem developers have that gamers and players don't. I could grind all the cosmetics that I wanted simply by just leveling up a bunch of different tunes or running dungeons repeatedly and stuff like that. But in group content, that gap between people who are really powerful with all that bronze and upgraded gear and all that, and really powerful cloaks, and everyone else can be readily apparent. I'm also not an advocate that Mists of Pandaria Remix has to be a balanced experience. It's dumb, wacky fun, and that's what it should be. But having that power come from having a really cool loadout and an interesting gem setup versus they grinded a couple of frogs leaves a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. Because, sure, the cloak aspect to the frog grind has now been addressed, hopefully to an adequate amount, right? The underlying issue that you still have to grind up a bunch of gear that goes up and up and up in bronze cost still lies. Address that one issue, and I think Mists of Pandaria Remix is going to be on a roll. And the reason I want them to get this right is because Remix is such a good idea. It really truly is. And I've made a couple of videos before about how good of an idea it is. I made an entire video theory crafting what I would like out of the next remix. They have such a solid base here. Just a few outlying issues that can be easily reined in. And they've been doing that, and now you still have this like one glaring one when it comes to gear cost. Rein that one in, and aces. Yeah, we're heading in a far better direction. Mists of Pandaria Remix is giving me a lot of optimism for the future of World of Warcraft. However, some old design philosophies and trends from old are still rearing their ugly head. Unneeded time gating and just filler and fluff that does not need to be there, that does not add to the experience or make anyone's time better by its inclusion. It's simply an annoyance or takes away from what people actually enjoy in this product. And when you have a system that actively does that, I think its wholesale removal is the best course of action. So, that's my advice to Blizzard, that's my 2 cents on the issue. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like Remix? What would you like to see changed? What do you really love about Remix? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and tell me who you're playing as, by the way. I started off with a Draenei Enhancement Shaman, I'm doing a Void Elf Frost Mage right now. I'm loving it, because it's a really great system, and I don't want that to get lost in the confusion of all this discussion. It's great, but it has some issues that can be easily addressed. With that said, thank you all for tuning in. Please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody, until we meet again!